What is it? Alright, folks. Nails are still there. Notes today. Class is in session. How's it, buddy? God, it feels good out here. There it goes. Come help me make a video. He's chilling. Grading papers. Anyway. Yeah. Slow bud. Good boy. Class in session. Quadrobics 101, Lecture 4. Today's topic, quadrobics for medical purposes. I wanted to make this video, especially after discussing everything I've mentioned involving the morphogenetic field, the capacity quadrobics and other animal mimicking activities have for genetic influence and genetic change beyond just the morphological. So, medical purposes, medical benefits, health and wellness, so to speak. You might ask, what medical benefits? Well, if we're looking at it fairly objectively, there's the physical benefits. First off, quadrobics is immensely helpful for cardiovascular health. It's a lot like yoga, just a bit more active. I'd say it's depending on what movements you're doing. It can be almost exactly like yoga, like let's say you're doing a turtle walk or chameleon walks or something with a bit more form control. You're looking at activities kind of like various poses in yoga, like transitioning from various poses in yoga, from warrior one to downward dog to what have you. And along with cardiovascular and aerobic improvements, quadrobics provides a almost isometric as well as a full functioning movement benefit to the musculoskeletal system. Quadrobics provides increased coordination. You want to come help me teach or what? He's got papers for it. As well as increased full body control and fluidity. If you don't think that's a medical benefit. Hey, Argus, chill out. Neighbors. So there's quite a few benefits just on the surface that quadrobics provides for somebody just through medical purposes and the physical. Now in terms of mental health and wellness, or interim assistant teachers here too, quadrobics encourages and is predicated upon detailed pattern recognition, I would say. A large part of practicing quadrobics involves analyzing animal patterns. There's a degree of ethology involved in fully developing one's skills in quadrobics. And interacting with that mental and imaginal space, hey darling, provides excellent mental exercises, and I think does a great deal to combat a lot of mental stress, a lot of stagnation involved. Baby doll, thank you. I knew the medical lecture would be a little chaotic. And interacting with that sort of mental thought form, placing yourself in that position that you're seeing these animals in your mind do. There's a lot of mental health benefits to that can be provided, that you fully immerse yourself in the activity and be a great stress reliever on top of many other things. And while we're in the line of topic, mental and physical health, I might as well mention spiritual health, which, if you haven't been able to tell, in my opinion, a lot of spiritual health has to do with scientific reasoning and connections between sciences we don't necessarily have full-fledged studies or college curriculums of, which is partially why I'm making this series. Spiritually speaking, in terms of what health benefits quadrobics has, quadrobics allows for one to interact with various genetic markers, as I'm going to say, allowing for and encouraging morphogenetic change to occur within the practitioner. And within the general confines of the practitioner's genetic profile. This interaction between what I call aminals, the sort of archetypal, tonal, energetic essence of various living organisms, through what humans have access to, that is called the morphogenetic field. In other traditions, it can be called the Akashic records, the etheric landscape, the imaginal landscape, if you're Terence McKenna, directly allows for both morphological change and, to a degree, genetic change. Because when we look at the evolution of various different species across all of history, that's mostly how these evolutionary morphological changes occur, is through activity based around specific goals in their environment. Paired, of course, with generational, maybe that's not the right word, generational and progressive reproduction of that same species over time into something that eventually changes. Us as humans, we have possibly some of the most adaptive qualities out of any species that's ever been. I know we've only been around, allegedly, about a couple 100,000 years, at least this specific version of us, but that version of us has diversified and expanded across the entire globe and has resulted in multitudinous different races in what would be considered a very short amount of time, ecologically speaking. to me, one of the most important aspects of quadrobics is the quote-unquote spiritual health benefits. Because not only, as discussed in the previous lecture, can quadrobics be a fairly viable I better hurry this up. That's a football field about 2 miles from my house, in case y'all want to know. And this video is going to get flagged for copyright most likely, so. That's better. Okay. Holy. I'm trying not to cuss, but something's not wanting me to get this video done exactly the way I've been intending. So, we're going to do it a little bit quicker. The medical benefits of quadrobics is quite expansive, point blank. So, that leads us to the potential for medical benefits. We're just going to wrap it up real quick. With all that's been mentioned, physical health benefits, I feel like they're fairly point blank obvious. They can help your physical condition improve by a massive amount. Mental health benefits, a lot of people who subscribe to the therianthropic idea, culture, community, lifestyle, they find a great deal of, how can I say this, pleasure and satisfaction in expressing their true selves as they see fit through various quadrobics activities. More importantly, it's helpful for connecting your mind to your body and connecting what you see with what you're doing. That in itself is about as important as reading is. Hey, baby doll. Everything's crazy, ain't it? It's a lot like reading, because in a sense you're exploring that same space in which you operate in while you read. So naturally it provides similar health benefits. And spiritually, as discussed, I mentioned some books previously in the last lecture. Morphic Resonance by Rupert Sheldrake. What did I say? Science and Spiritual Practices by Rupert Sheldrake. The Biology of Belief by I forget his name. It was in the description. The last video I might link it in the description for this video as well. But all these pair together to lead to, or all these aspects of how quadrobics affects your health and well-being leads to a multitude of different potential improvements across your health systems. And ultimately that leads me to what I want to talk about. I've mentioned it in previous lectures. Quadrobics' potential for further medical application. Because if someone has the capacity to do what I've mentioned, interact with novel genetic markers found in different archetypes. God dang it. Come on, Cat. I love you, baby. There you go. Oh. Oh, man. If someone has the potential to interact with novel genetic... Argus, stop. Golly. We're gonna get through this video. It's barely 15 minutes. The potential for quadrobics in medical applications supersedes what most people would assume, even with what I've mentioned. There are aspects of various creatures that we don't yet know the full reasoning as to why they have their capabilities. A great example I've mentioned in previous lectures: zebras don't get ulcers. Why is that? We don't entirely know. Cut it out, please. Oh, we gotta make it quick. Whales don't get cancer. I believe sharks don't either. Accessing the specific archetypal genetic markers for these animals, I think, can provide novel genetic therapy, so to speak, for individuals going through various medical conditions. I myself have successfully overcome various genetic conditions, and while the data isn't entirely conclusive, and by that I mean didn't write nothing down, I think quadrobics played a large part in my ability to overcome my medical conditions. And I think that's why it needs to be explored. That's why I'd like to share it with the community I'm forming, the larger quadrobic community as a whole, so that people can explore that for themselves and compare notes, so to speak. Because I think there's something to that. A great example that I think needs exploration is the axolotl. It's one of the few organisms on the planet. I want to say it's the only true vertebrate on the planet that has the capacity to completely regrow entire morphological structures composed of bone, nerves, muscle tissue, skin, everything on a cellular level. And what could happen if someone accessed that capability, who needed to regrow a limb? I don't know. But speaking off the data I've been able to compile from various quadrobics channels, my own experience, I think there's great potential for something that's possibly very revolutionary. Now let's try and wrap this up. Since everything is going chaotic here. If you can tell, I'm channeling a capybara. They're just super chill. They can vibe with any situation. Channeling it very well. There's a lot of medical benefits, both easily observed within a short amount of time starting quadrobics, and I believe over the course of various programs involving different animal walk cycles, different animal activities. But I might need y'all's help to help explore that as well. I'm sure in time I'll compile more data and evidence to support that claim, but as of right now, it still stands to reason. And we haven't really touched on the capacity where wearing different animal-related patterns and garbs could potentially influence the morphogenetic expression of oneself. It makes me wonder just why zebra sort of parachutey pants were so popular in bodybuilders back when that fashion style hit the scene. Was it because unconsciously they were accessing a potential benefit to avoid all the protein shakes giving them ulcers? Oh my gosh. We don't know. Argus is being a bad assistant teacher. Luckily, it's at the end of the class period, so. Either way, we don't know. It's worth exploring. I hope you've enjoyed this chaotic class session. I know I have. Not much homework. What I will recommend is looking up why zebras don't get ulcers. That's what I'm going to tell you to do. Look it up. Ask some questions. Discuss it. Be sure to read The Biology of Belief by Bruce H. Lipton. Thank God I remembered that. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. And share this where you can. I enjoy making these, and I'd like to keep enjoying making these. Support animal conservation. Do what you do. Next lecture video will be covering strength and conditioning. If you can think of any other unique medical and potentially health revolutionizing aspects of animals that we don't quite understand yet, feel free to comment them. I'd like to explore them if I don't know about them, or discuss them with you. Either way, later taters.